Hello everyone, welcome back to the R tutorial for beginners part 2. In this video, I will show how to read data from multiple folders and then how to remove and replace missing values. And also I will show how to replace character or numeric values. To begin with, let us just go back to the R code that I have been using throughout this tutorial, and you can also download the R code from my GitHub page. The link is shared in the video description. So to begin here, how to read data from multiple folders, there are different ways. You can write some advanced code, but as this is like the first step, I'm considering this as the first step that you're learning how to do that. So one of the things that commonly used is you can use the code like read CSV or read table to read your CSV and text files from your computer. So what I'm doing here is I'm storing the directory where I have kept the data. For example, if I go to my computer folder, there are two data folders. Data 1 have these two CSV files, and data 2 folder have three text files. So what I'm trying to do here is I will read one CSV file and one text file. So one easy way is first store the directory in two variables. For example, folder 1 and folder 2. These are the two directories. The fold 1 has the CSV and fold 2 has the text file. Then I'm writing a read.csv function, which is basically reading a CSV file. So I use something paste 0. What paste 0 does is it basically connects to or three or multiple character, string, and or numeric values. So let's see how it looks like, for example. So the fold 1 and fold 2 in this case is the whole directory name. And the data I want to read is rainfall_data.csv. If I execute just selected part, for example, I just select this part and press Ctrl and Enter. You see what it shows. It shows that the paste 0 function basically actually connects this folder name with the data file name. So it's really handy if you want to do it iteratively for different purposes, which we will see in the long run. And this paste 0 function is really useful in such cases. So what this line does is reading the CSV and this line reading the text file, for example. So let's see how it looks like. The CSV file, I'm checking the first few lines. So it looks like is a date, month, year, and location A, B, and C rainfall data. So we also see there's a missing data. I'm pretty sure there will be more. So let's see how the df2 looks like. So df2 looks like there's okay. So it looks like somehow the first row is actually what I was planning is it should read the first row as the name of the column, but it's actually reading as one of the row member. So to handle this thing, what you have to do is you have to say that, okay, header true means the file the R is reading has a header line. So when I do that and then run the head df2, now you clearly see that actually it's basically having the first row in the text file, that is date, month, year, and location A as the column names. So now we learn how you can actually read files from different folders. This is a very simple example. You can actually read a lot of files in a loop and different ways, which we will learn later. But for now, just learn how you can read files from different folders. The next thing I will show is how to remove or replace missing values. So let's read the data. Oh, okay, I already read that here, but let's do it again. So setting the working directory to the data 1 folder, then reading the rainfall underscore data CSV file in the df variable, and just checking the summary. So the summary function shows actually the minimum, maximum, first quartile, mean, and other statistical property. For example, if I look at the location A, it shows that the minimum value is 0.0393, and also other values. So the interesting part is we can see that it has missing value like NAs. NA is basically meaning that missing value. So the location A has 3 missing, location B have 3 missing, and location C has 2 missing values. So we have to learn how to remove this missing value or replace it with something else. So that's really useful or really needed in a lot of purposes. So you can also, other than the summary function, you can also calculate the mean. For example, what I want here is I want to calculate the mean of the column location A. So to select a specific column, what you can do is write the data frame name and $sign and the column name. So when I click this, Control Enter, you see it's NA, but it doesn't make sense because there are a lot of values. Why it is showing NA? The reason is if a column already have any missing value or NAs, the mean function doesn't calculate the mean. So to avoid the NA, you have to use something na.rm, which is na.removes and equal to true. So what it does is it calculates the mean without considering the NA. So let's see how we can find that where are the NA values. For example, let us assume that we want to replace all the NA values with other value, for example, minus 999. So the first thing we need to do is we have to find the indices or the location of the NA values. For example, a very commonly used function is which. So what it does is, for example, I'm storing the location of the NA values in this variable id.na.a. What I'm doing here is searching where are the NA values. So is.na means like where are the NAs in df $sign location A. In what locations in column loc underscore A there are NA. So this is what it's doing. So when I click this and I just see what's there, it shows that the row ID 11, 49, and 88 actually have NA. So let's just do a common check like what is going on. So if df and is saying id.na, so it's a row number and show all the columns and press Control Enter. So just see the three ID NA. So as I said, there are 3 row numbers. So when I write this, it's showing those specific 3 row, like row ID 11, 49, and 88. We can clearly see that the location A has NAs there. Similarly, we can do that for B. For example, let me correct this. So for example, we can do that for B and C. So the next step is we want to replace those NA values with something else. For example, here I'm doing like replacing NA values with -9 and 9. How I'm doing that is I'm putting df, like the data frame, then the IDs where I want to replace, and column number 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. In the column 4, in these IDs, put -9 and 9. So I'm doing it again. So after I run this, let's see those specific lines again. See that those are not NA anymore. Those are -999 now. So this is really useful. So there's something else that is also sometimes people do is like wherever the rows are having NA values, it might be something useful to totally remove the rows. How we can do that is basically write the data frame and put a negative sign and the row numbers. So just look at this before we apply this function. So for example, the dimension of df is 144 by 6. Then what I'm doing here is I'm applying this function, removing the rows where there's NA. Then checking the dimension of the new variable without the rows. You see that 141, so those specific rows with NA are removed. So there is like another way to actually remove the rows with NA. So this is like what I'm doing here is I'm searching where is NA, then putting a negative sign to remove that. So, but you can also do that in a single line code. For example, what I did here is, so what it does is not this sign, exclamatory sign, this says not is NA, and the column I'm interested in. What it says is only keep those rows, those are not NA. And if I run this code and check the dimension of df3, you will see that it's basically 144 df3. So okay, that's interesting. So let's see, dimension of df is 144 over 6, and after I'm doing this, it's actually keeping that. So let's see what's going on here. So if I try to see the IDs where there were NA, for example, put this here. Okay, so this function is actually not working. The reason is I already converted those to -999. So when I apply this won't work because that's already -999. If that were NA, that would work. So to actually see if it really works, just run this line where it has NA and then run this line and then check the dimension. You see there's the values are not there anymore. So this was all about how you can actually remove and replace missing values. But this is really useful tool while pre-processing data. So hope it helped all of you, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.